All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I'm going to give our honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Akakodash. Say Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Bahashem Akakodash. And we give double honor to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahbashim Yahushai, 2026, which is the year of apostates, fallouts, and spies. So let's jump right into this lesson. This is concerning, I have a few videos to pull up, but the folly that is set, there's a rift. Okay, there's a big rift going on with the situation in Greenland. All right, that's causing a lot of turmoil when it comes to Babylon's allies. Okay, you got Canada is already, because moves take time to flourish, if you want to say that on the world scale, that's the words I'm looking for, because the situation that took place with Canada early in 2025 was setting the tone of what you see happening now, because you have Canada that's joining forces, or they're leaning closer to China. All right, that's Babylon's next door neighbor that is leaning closer to China. All right, because I'm getting ready to play the video. It's not a long video, but it's to show you that everything you see taking place now in these little skirmishes, these little up and downs, these are moving the goalpost closer to that Third World War, and Babylon being the main enemy and the main recipient of that judgment that's coming down by way of fire. Okay, so you have the Prime Minister. Okay, you have the Prime Minister of Canada that has landed in Beijing and is pretty much striking up deals. All right, so there's a power shift going on in the planet Earth, as you see happening today. Okay, so what you see taking place now with Canada, and then also the situation with Greenland. Greenland is firing up too, because Trump he's going after it, man. You know, it's one of those far-fetched things, like, damn, out of all the places, but everything is happening for a reason. So the moves that are being made is to lead towards prophecy. It's to lead towards the coming of the Third World War. All these things, because the same way that we went down, we had a time of great peace in the time of Solomon, when Solomon ruled the nation of Israel, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And that's why we pushed to the elect, right? The elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3, which is going to be a governmental body that's going to be raised up and delivered to start the kingdom to come. And all Israel will be saved through those men, women, and children that are delivered from this coming Third World War. There's going to be Israelites on the planet around the world, but the governmental body of the nation of Israel under Yahushai's rulership is going to start with the elect. So let's go ahead and play this video. It says, in a move, let's read the description first. In a move that stunned Washington, Prime Minister Mark Carney just landed in Beijing and declared a new strategic partnership with China, calling it a new world order. So that's a buzzword. We already know what that is, because all of this is theater. They've all moved. They're all working behind closed doors. They all have inner workings and ties. But this is to show you that the goalpost is being moved, because the financial reset is happening. We're in the midst of it. So as this financial reset draws closer, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, and you're going to have a lot of movements that are going to take place that are going to cause rifts in the planet Earth. Okay. It says, New World Order. Carney is pivoting Canada's energy and trade away from the U.S. Rupture. It is the 51st state dream dead, or did Canada just start a new Cold War? Let's play it.
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. I believe China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
You see how he said it? You see
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed.
Like I was saying, why would he have chose those particular words? And why would he have embellished, if that's the word I'm looking for, embellished it when he said it? Okay, because those are buzzwords for those in the know. Okay, those that are in the know will be able to pick up on that. Same thing with us. We're picking up on that same information too. Okay, let me go here. Hold on. Right here. So the next video I'm going to play is concerning this situation with Greenland. Okay, and it's intensifying. But to add on to the rest of the video is that this is showing the world that, hey, Babylon is that hammered earth, but everybody's trying to move away, just like Obadiah says, and I have that pulled up. So let's go ahead and start this from the beginning. Fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for any kind of monetary gain. So let's play this back from the top. And this is from the brother of Yahushai, Yerumia, servant of Yahushai, if I'm seeing that name right. Let's play this from the beginning. The sound is off. Hold on. Here we go.
President Trump today, Saturday, that escalated quickly. President Trump today, Saturday, woke up and said that he is going to impose a 10% tariff on American allies, and the list is Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland. It's a 10% tariff starting February 1st on any and all goods from those countries coming to the United States. And it will go up to 25% on June 1st, quote, until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. This focus of the president on the United States taking Greenland from Denmark, which is a NATO ally, and which had more soldiers die per capita in Afghanistan than any other NATO ally, is really shocking so many people throughout the world and also Republicans in Congress.
Because going back to the situation with Jeroboam and Rehoboam, when that took place, Israel was in a economic turmoil. Okay, things were good under Solomon, but once Solomon was not in power anymore, and you have the situation with Jeroboam and Rehoboam, that created a chaos. It created a uncertainty among the Israelites at that time, because that was going into the curses that we were about to go through. The curses didn't happen overnight. It happened at a growth rate. Okay, it grew until the fruits of that budded, and the full fruits of that is us being put into slavery, us going into captivity, losing our homes. What does it say? Even thou thyself thou shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. So that it didn't happen overnight. It happened gradually. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a gradual happening. So what you think taking place now? That these moves that are being made are turning people don't know what's going on. They're not able to know what moves are being made and why. Okay, they're saying one thing, saying this other thing, especially with the whole files that's being released. You got the situation with Maduro. All those things are happening quickly because those moves are for the end of this place. Esau is making moves that are not benefiting to him, to his situation, and that's the Heavenly Father that's mixing that up. Okay, that's throwing a monkey wrench, a lamb wrench in his plans. Okay, so the situation now is it's intensifying, man. Okay, it's intensifying. Let's move here. This is the book of Obadiah 1 and verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Let's see here. Let's see if they got the message. Hold on. Let's do. Watch this. Watch this. Let's search the web. Okay, Obadiah 1 and 7, the message. Translation, describes utter betrayal by allies, stating all your old partners will drive you to the edge. Your old friends will lie to your face. Your old drinking buddies will stab you in the back. Your world will collapse. You won't know what hit you. Damn. We got to read that again. This is Obadiah 1 and 7, the message. Describes utter betrayal by allies, stating all your old partners. Canada's a partner. China was a partner. Even Russia was a partner. Okay? These other nations that dealt with Babylon, they're partners. So those that were at league and they had a sense of togetherness, now they don't have that. They have a sense of we got to pivot. That's the nice way of saying it. They don't, because you got a lot of people in population that they got to deal with. So they don't put the dirty laundry out there. Just like if you have somebody that's mad at another person, they can yell, scream all they want because it's that person that's mad. But if a nation is mad at another nation, you got to you got to put kid gloves with it. So that is showing, but they talk in passive aggressive ways. So what's the passive aggressive for Canada? Going to China. That's an ultimate. And even the guy said it. It says it's a decade since a prime minister has visited China. Why is that? Because Canada had a working relationship with Babylon the Great. So when that relationship has started to seem rocky and uncertain, they go into the winners. Okay, just like you see, these hoes are choosing, man. Okay, the allies of Babylon, which were under its stable, which was under its supposed grip. That's why it says the mother of harlots. So all those people that were at friends, let's read it again. It says, describes the betrayal, and that's what it is. That's what Babylon is experiencing, mass betrayal. Betrayal by allies, stating all your old partners will drive you to the edge. Your old friends will lie to your face. Your old drinking buddies will stab you in the back. And what is they drinking? They're drinking the juice, the Babylon juice, the democracy that Babylon pushes. But if they see that you pushing something to me, but you're not following it, but you're claiming to be the upholder of it, you're defending it, but you're not practicing it yourself. So the nations are waking up to that. So it says they have drank and they're mad. Okay, they drank the juice of Babylon, and they're angry because they said, "Man, this dude ain't this dude ain't even doing what he's telling us to do." But that's all a part of prophecy. That's all a part of the message that is coming, man. Let's see if it'll pop. Let's leave run. It says Obadiah 1. Let's start at 2. Listen to this, Edom. I'm turning you to no account, the runt of the godless nations. Damn. Despised. You thought you were so great, perched high among the rocks, king of the mountain. That's what it says, though you lift thyself up as the eagle. Okay? Thinking to yourself, nobody can get to me. Nobody can touch me. Think again. Even if like an eagle, you hang out on a high cliff face, even if you build your nest in the stars, I'll bring you down to earth. God's sure word. And what's happening now is the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is being propagated through the planet Earth by way of this truth that's pushing the prophecies, pushing the identity of Esau, pushing all these things that are reverting, is pushing the elites to their back. They still got power, but the anonymity is gone, and they're not wanting it anyway, because they're in the time of they're about. That's why the scriptures say why they're about to fill their belly. Okay, the Lord is going to cast fire upon them, so they're eating off of that new world order that they want to establish, but it's not going to be. They're not going to get the fullness of it. It says if thieves, Salakia, think again, even if thieves crept up on you, they robbed you blind. Isn't that so? If they mugged you on the streets at night, they would pick you clean. Isn't that so? Oh, they'll take Esau apart piece by piece. That's what you see happening now. You see the dollar is not. How do we know the situation of Babylon today? Look at the gold. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. So the gold is at $1,450, let's say, or Salakia, $4,000 an ounce. 1440, or Salakia, 4,400, 4,200, 4,000. Let's say 4,000, give or take. So $4,000 it costs for you to buy a troy ounce of gold, when a few years back it was 1,200, 2,000. When gold was going to 2,000, I remember that was a big deal. That was a huge deal. Now it's almost pushing $5,000. That's how you can tell the damage of what's really going on, because you can hide, you can say all the bullshit you want. You can talk all the game and talk, oh yeah, everything's good, everything's all right, nothing's happening. All right, just like if you have an investor in your company, and that investor comes to your office, and then he starts seeing repossessions come in, he starts seeing different things take place, he's gonna be suspicious of what's happening. Okay, so gold is a key indicator of what's happening in the economics of a nation. If your money is strong, then there's going to be your money is going to be able to buy more gold and more precious metals at a lower cost. But if your money is weak, it's going to take more of your money to be able to buy that same piece of gold, that same piece of product, anything. So we can know the situation and the diagnosis of the U.S. dollar by way of gold and silver, because they don't change. There's not a changing of gold and silver. It's just the changing of the value of the currency that you can purchase it with. So when we see these things happening now, we can say, damn, the dollar is weak. The dollar is hurt. The dollar is struggling. Just like if you see a fight, you see the other fighter, his punches aren't coming out smooth. You know, his parries aren't on point. you know, he's looking sluggish. So the same thing with the dollar. That's what it's doing. Look, they're trying to fight. Hell yeah, they're trying to fight. But it's waning down, whittling. It's whittling away. If the let's go down. All your old partners will drive you to the edge. Your old friends will lie to your face. Your old drinking buddies will stab you in the back. Your world will collapse. You won't know what hit you. So do not be surprised when Yahweh sure word, when I wipe out all sages from Edom and rid the Esau and rid the Esau mountains of its famous wise men. And they don't have it no more. Okay? Because really, you see, the wise men would go into the Temanites, okay, which would be your Germans, okay, going back to Operation Paperclip, NASA, and everything else. NASA and those high-ranking projects were started by those Edomites, okay. Your old drinking buddies are Salakia. Don't be surprised. It's Yahweh's sure word when I wipe out all sages from Edom and rid the Esau's mountain of famous wise men. Your great heroes will desert you. Teeming, there be nobody left in Esau's mountain because of the murderous history compelled against your brother Jacob. And you can clearly see, what's that? Slavery. All right, chattel slavery is a prime example of our bloodshed and the violence against your brother Jacob. You shouldn't have gloated over your brother when he was down and out. You shouldn't have laughed and joked at Judah's sons when they were when they're face down in the mud. You shouldn't have talked so big when everything was so bad. You shouldn't have taken advantage of my people when their lives had fallen apart. You of all people should not have been amused by their troubles. Their wicked nation, it says their wicked nation, you shouldn't have taken the shirt off their back, but they were knocked flat, defenseless, and you shouldn't have stood waiting at the outskirts. So that's the main point there. You know, that you see the time that we have now, Esau is being made to be what? He's being made to be a spectacle. His allies are turning against him. Those that he once held in high regards are moving away. All right, because all the actions and the things that Esau has done, it's moving the nations away from him. All right, it's causing that skirmish and it's causing that separation. All right. So, Lord, one's edifying lesson. With that, I want to say, call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Chakarash. Until the next time, I say Shalom and more, and I never keep faith. Shalom.